TP, how do the Fantasy World Cup chips work? So, I'm just generally going to talk about the whole game and how the whole game mode works, because, of course, there is some similarities with the FPL game. There are also some differences with the FPL game. So, to actually maximise your points, there's certain things you can do that are very similar to the normal game, FPL, and there are some things you want to do a bit differently. So we have a 15-man squad still in the McDonald's game. That is the game we're focusing on this channel. Again, you're looking at 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. You can use very similar formations as you could use in the FPL. You're also handed £100 million but euro budget, but it's still 100 million. That actually does rise, however, in the knockout stages, because generally you're going to have less options in the knockout stages and they're going to be more expensive. So definitely be aware that when you get to the knockout stages, you will have more money. Player prices will not change during the group stages, but they could change depending on form as you go into the knockout stages. And you can select 3 players from one nation, but this quota increases as you get into the normal knockout phase of the tournament. You can pick 4 players per country in round of 16, 5 in the quarterfinals, 6 in the semis, and 8 for the World Cup final from each side. In terms of your formation, again, like, it's very similar to FPL, 3-5-2, 3-4-3. As long as you have 3 defenders, 1 goalkeeper, 2 midfielders and 1 forward, the formation is allowed. As for substitutes, this is a different area where you get to utilise all 15 of your players. So what I will say, the very first thing I will say on this stream is make sure you put in your starting lineup. As you see, I'm playing 5 at the back. Put in your starting lineup the players that play first, because you are allowed to bring in a replacement off of the bench after the action gets underway. So you can drop a player that gets 0 points to your bench for a player that's on your bench to be brought in that will then play. So this means if you take my team, for example, say Jimenez does really badly and gets 0, I can then bring in Neymar, and Neymar's points will count in my score as long as I bring him in before he plays. So you can utilise all 15 of your players, sub out the ones that did badly, keep in the ones that did well. So make sure you're aware of that. You can also change your captain before the next day's matches start. You will lose any double points you got on your current captain though. So again, say Iwobi scores 1 goal, but I think Neymar is going to score 5. Iwobi scores 1, I can take him off, hedging my bets that Neymar is going to score more. You can also, of course, change your captain if your captain does very poorly. However, you cannot sub a player off that has been sent off in the game. So be wary of that if they are wearing your captain's armband. If you're putting your captain's armband on someone like Suarez, who has a tendency to suddenly do something a bit crazy, you cannot take your armband or that player off if they get a red card. But this game is very similar to Ultimate FPL, and I think there's a version of the Champs League game out there, Champions League Fantasy Football. It's very similar to that, and it kind of rewards the players that are more active. So in case you don't really want to be doing this, you will probably have to spend every day looking at your side during the World Cup. However, of course, the World Cup is shorter than the FPL season anyway. Then you've got scoring points. The basic scoring system is the exact same as FPL, so that should be very familiar to a lot of us. So I won't go into that too much. Of course, you can go and look at all the rules on the website. As for transfers, you're handed 1 transfer per round of the group stages. So there'll be round 1 where every team plays their first game, round 2, and then round 3. We then have unlimited trades to refresh our squad ahead of the knockout stages. Then a further 3 before the quarterfinals, and then 5 before the semis and before the finals. So while it is beneficial to try and pick players from teams that will go through, know that in the group stages you don't need all of your players to go through, because you'll have unlimited transfers to bring in during that period. Also, you then have 3, 5 and 5 for. While it's of benefit to have some players that will definitely go through, you can kind of spread your bets a bit over the side. Any transfers over the free limit will take a 4-point hit, again like FPL. You're not allowed to carry over any trades though, so don't think you can carry over a transfer. Use them, or you don't get to use them in the next round. We also have a wildcard. This allows unlimited transfers before a particular deadline. You must make an additional transfer to make that active. Basically, you can either use this in time for round 2 of the group stages, generally, because then you've seen every team play. You may be able to pick a better team. You can also focus your team on the game or round 1 fixtures, or you can wait until round 3 to play it, and then you'll be more likely to know which teams are less likely to rotate because they're already through the group stages. There are some chips as well. 2 chips at our disposal. We've got bench boost. This is the same as FPL Game. You earn points for all of your players in your squad. And then you've got maximum captain. This is different from triple captain. For that round, whoever gets the most points in your team will get given the captain's armband, guaranteed. I'm not sure if that actually works for the player on your bench, or if you have to make sure you bring that player on. But the whole point of it is you don't have to worry about who your captain is, which I suppose in a way takes a bit of the fun away, but we'll see how it works. I'm a bit skeptical on it, but we'll see how it works. So hopefully TP and everyone listening, that has helped you understand the chips and how this game works.